Here are the top 10 cities where housing prices are falling faster than Joe Biden on a bike.
Hey now!
Plus, stick around to the end for bonus content for markets Redfin are predicting will likely get added to this list as we enter into a recession. So like, subscribe, and number 10. Indianapolis, Indiana. 44.1% of homes saw price reductions according to Redfin, and at first glance, you might be a little shocked considering that Indiana housing is 20% cheaper than the US national average. That is, until you realize that values in Indiana have increased by 19.8% over just the last year alone, and they've increased by 82% over the past 5 years, making it one of the most inflated markets in the United States. Number 9. Tampa, Florida. 44.5% of housing prices have been slashed in Tampa according to Redfin, and according to new research from Florida Atlantic University, Tampa is one of the most overpriced housing markets in the nation, with a typical home being priced at around $422,000. But they're also estimated to be overvalued by more than 53.2%. Tampa is currently ranked number 13 nationally for the most overvalued market that is currently experiencing a housing correction. Number 8. Portland, Oregon. 45.7% of homes listed have seen price reductions in Portland, Oregon. In Portland, prices have risen 53% over the last decade, from a median sales price of $263,000 in March of 2011 to $501,000 in March of 2021 to now $581,000 in 2022. And now this housing market is finally starting to cool down. Number 7. Seattle, Washington. 46.3% of home prices fell in Seattle. It's one of the most expensive housing markets in the nation, where the median cost of a home is $944,000, and it is already starting to come down. It's so high that more Seattle residents are opting to rent for $3,000 a month rather than owning that same home and paying a mortgage of $5,000 per month, because housing prices are so high, but they're finally seeing some relief as prices are starting to drop. Number 6. Sacramento, California. 48.7% of houses listed have seen price reductions in Sacramento, California. The current average home in Sacramento, California is selling for about $570,000 according to Zillow data. But according to Florida Atlantic University research, that is well above the actual values that should be closer to around $455,000. Estimates based on calculations using the city's historical sales data. Number 5. Grand Rapids, Michigan. 49.3% of homes saw price reductions, which might be surprising considering the typical home value is only $264,000, but not when you realize that home values shot up 14.2% over the last year alone, which is why now prices are starting to be cut dramatically. Number 4. Tacoma, Washington. 49.5% of house listings saw price reductions in Tacoma, and it's no surprise when you realize that Tacoma has been outpacing the entire nation in rising prices the past few years, and prices rose 16.3% over the past year and 2.8% in just the last quarter alone. So it looks like a correction for Tacoma is finally here. Number 3. Salt Lake City, Utah. Over half, 51.6% of the homes saw price reductions in Salt Lake City, Utah. From 2020 to 2021, the median price of a home in Utah increased by 24.6%. In some cases, people who bought homes in 2019 for $280,000 in Salt Lake City now have estimated values of $480,000. In addition, 3 Utah cities, Provo, Ogden, and Salt Lake City, were ranked in the top 10 most overpriced housing markets in the nation. The reason being, not enough supply of homes. But it looks like that is all starting to change, as over half of the homes in Salt Lake City just saw price drops. Number 2. Denver, Colorado. 55.1% of prices in Denver, Colorado saw reductions. This is the second month in a row now that prices have started falling shortly after mortgage interest rates have started rising. The median price of a home in August of 2022 was $579,000, which is down 2.54% compared to July, as now prices, they're starting to fall in Denver. Now, before we get to number one, don't forget to stick around for the bonus content after this, as Redfin has provided us with a list of cities they're saying are susceptible with a recession to being added to this list of markets with major price reductions. And also, if you made it this far, don't forget, if you appreciate the content, smash that like button. But with that being said, number one. Boise, Idaho, a whopping 61.5% of listings saw price reductions in Boise, Idaho. That is 2 out of 3 that saw prices fall, which is double the national average right now of 32%. Now, in June, Boise was ranked the most overpriced city in the nation, according to research at Florida Atlantic University. And research found that the Boise housing market was 69% higher than it should have been considering long-term pricing patterns. And pricing has spiked from last year alone by 80%, but it is now finally starting to cool down as Boise, Idaho is ranked number 1 in the nation for seeing prices fall. Now, before we get to the bonus content, let me know your thoughts on these top 10 cities that have seen the most price reductions in the nation. Do you think that this is going to continue to happen? More and more houses are going to see reductions. Do you think the reductions are going to get even greater and we're going to see the values decline even more so? Well, we just heard from the Federal Reserve that they're going to be increasing interest rates and they're going to continue to do so. So that means mortgage interest rates are going to keep going up, which will likely continue to slow down the real estate market. Let me know if you think any of these are going to stabilize or if they're all going to keep dropping. But here, you guys, is the bonus content. Now, in a separate survey, Redfin reviewed cities with high debt-to-income ratios, where residents, they're likely going to be more susceptible to foreclosures if a recession is officially going to hit. So here are the cities that made the list: Riverside, California, Boise, Idaho, Cape Coral, Florida, Northport, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, Sacramento, California, Bakersfield, California, Phoenix, Arizona, Tampa, Florida, and Tucson, Arizona. Now, you might have noticed that some of these cities are already on the list for major price reductions, but in addition to that, Redfin is saying that due to the high debt-to-income ratio that residents, if we have a major recession and they lose their income and become unemployed, they're highly susceptible to foreclosure in these cities as well. So, not looking too good. These cities could get a double whammy. Now, let me know your thoughts. And also, there are some cities in the nation where there are no price reductions or price cuts and things are going strong. Just depends on your real estate market. And I'll keep you guys up to date here on the channel. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to see more content. And with that being said, take care. God bless. This is Steve.